Sorry about that, guys. It's being ornery with me. I'm getting a message here saying that live stream recording is not available. I'm not sure what that means to me. Hi, everybody. Thanks for sticking with me. It might be a bumpy night tonight. I'm trying to get set up so that I can see my own live. Welcome to folks that are coming in. Hello, hello. Just be patient here. I'll get set up. There I am. There I am. Okay, I want to get it so I can see comments. There. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for being patient. Hi, Asher. Hi, Ruth. I am back. Cindy and Vicky, and I hope this isn't a foretaste of what's going to come tonight. Already had a bumpy ride, got kicked off, and trying to get things set up, but I think I'm set up. It's always a little bumpy right at first. I'm going to jump right into the reverse collage. I thought I'd start out by working in this. Let me zoom in just a little. Thank you, Cindy. Good. I'm going to zoom in a little. I'm going to work right at the beginning of the book. Hi, Melissa. Thank you, lady. Hi, Michelle. Little Crafts. This is an art doll book. It belonged to Gina Ahrens, and she passed it along in a box of goodies. And I've been doing reverse collage in it. It's a Somerset magazine, art doll magazine, and it's cut in half like Dee Dee Willingham does. So I've been doing some reverse collage in it. I'm going to start right here. I'm going to sit down. I noticed in my last week's video that I had a squeaky chair. I have a squeaky chair. I haven't fixed the squeaky chair issue yet. I probably hear me squeaking tonight. Oh well. If you hear squeaks, it's my chair. Hi, Pepper Dye. Oh, Packer, you get well, lady. Complications from a root canal. Oh man, I hope it's not too serious. Mary, squeaky chairs are all mine. Cindy says, I don't know. I was listening to my video from last week and I'm going, all I can hear is my chair squeaking. So this is a doll this is an article by Cindy Cloyd, C-L-O-Y-D, and she's talking about yard sale shopping, and she did an assemblage doll from parts that she found in yard sales. And I thought, you know, wow, yard sale season is coming up. This would be perfect to do. And she calls it her dream dolls, yard sale shopping for dream dolls. And this is the top of the page, and back here is the bottom of the page, and here's the body of the doll, and she's got dream written out in Scrabble letters. So I'm not going to work on the bottom of the page, I'm only going to work on the top. Boy, I'll tell you, I think I've fallen 3 times and I haven't even been on hardly 10 minutes and I've already fallen like 3 times. It's going to be one of those nights. Sorry, guys. So sorry. So I'm just going to get started in here. I like to do the quote and the fine line applicator I'm going to do the reverse collage, and then I'm going to put a quote on here, and then I'll come back later after everything is dry and do some work with my fine line applicator. But as I was looking at this, I thought, what am I going to use? And I looked at the word dream, and it reminded me of that song that whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream, 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 dream. So that's the quote from the song that I'm going to do. If I can find out where the rest of the quote went to in all of this. But I'll find it. I'm not going to worry about it now because I'm not going to put it on right now. So I chose a mocha. Well, actually, this is a beige, a yellow. But then I went back and I found this yellow. It's a chalk paint. And I was looking for a pink. And I found this pink. This is from Plaid. And I thought from Plaid Waverly chalk paint. And I got it at Walmart, and I wanted to try it and see how it works. So I've had it for a while. I want to use it up. I also have another pink, an ivory, and a blue. I should have a red out because there's red in there. Let's see. I got my Georgia clay. Let's see if I can find a red here real fast. Here's a red. Here's a red. So I'm just going to get started with this. I think I'll start with the pink. And I don't know if the chat is going to show up on my live stream. I noticed that it did for Aunt Bex. So just to be aware that whatever you say may get saved. So let's see. I'm going to leave this because she's talking about yard sales, garage sales, or tag sales. No matter what you call them, they're a treasure trove of potential doll parts. By combining a bit of this and a bit of that and viewing all the bits in a unique way, this doll artist was able to obtain. And then it starts on the bottom of the page over there. And I'll leave this part alone. I'll leave that text. And I'm going to leave the artist credited, and I'm just going to paint this out using one finger. It's my understanding that you can turn that off. Chat? Oh, well, I'm going to leave chat on because I do want my live chat on because I like to be able to, I'm really glad they did that for my own purposes because I like to go back and review things, especially if I'm running a contest to see, did I call it right or did I miss something to that effect. So if the chat is on, I'm going to leave it on. So you just need to be aware that anything you say may be recorded. And you know, really, as I said last week, this is nothing that I'm surprised that they're giving creators the ability to turn it off, if that's what you're telling me, because it's no different than Facebook or Periscope, any of those other chat applications that they show the chat. So yeah, I think that it does too. There are a lot of people who watch the replay who can, you know, the only way that they know what's going on is if I repeat. And I don't always see everything that happens or understand all the conversation that's going on because I'm so busy finger painting here. So I think it's a good thing in the long run, but we're just going to need to get used to it. So I'm going to leave it on for now anyway, unless something happens. Let's see. I'm kind of happy with that. I'm going to put some yellow on there. I've had a busy week. Has everybody had a busy week? Yeah, personal conversations happen, but the thing of it is, if they're that personal, they should be in a private chat. I know we've kind of gotten spoiled by YouTube in that all of the chats have been private. They haven't been displaying them. But you should not be saying anything publicly that if you're going to say something that you don't want said, it should be said in it should be said in a private chat. There's plenty of places where people can go to chat privately, and I do respect my community, but after all, this is a live session, and this is a public live session, so that's kind of my take on it. And you know, it's kind of good of YouTube to let you have the ability to turn it off. I mean, because they're respecting different creators' wishes. You know, if you don't want to have chat on, they've given you the ability to turn it off. That's your right. So, I'm just saying that just be careful. You know, don't say anything that you don't want out there. That's all I want to let you know. And you really shouldn't be doing that anyway, because who knows, somebody could screen print it. Hi, Lucia. Laura. Yeah, always learning something new with YouTube, I'll tell you. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen the live chat on my channel yet. If it happens tonight, that'll be a good thing. It didn't happen last week, but they might have been still working with it. So I'm just going to put some different colors on here. And Melissa, it's so good to see you. I hope that your foot is healing up nice. Put some of this white down there. And Shelly was in here earlier. Shelly is Crafting Mamas, and she does have a live on Friday nights. So I don't know if she was able to stay after I fell, but yeah, and I think she has a live on Tuesday nights. If chat stays with the recording, where will comments go for the recorded chat? That I'm not sure. I guess we're just going to have to experiment. You mean, like, I'm thinking, see, I don't know if they'll put it in, like if you're halfway in the chat and you make a comment, if you're halfway watching the replay, will it go to the end or will it go where you made the comment? I don't know. Melissa says, leg is coming along, Mary. Thank you. This is the first Friday night I've been free in quite a while. Yay! Well, I'll tell you. And you had that infection just from a fall, if I understand right, Melissa. Did you slip on the ice? You fell, didn't you? And then you got an infection in it, and that's what caused all your problems? If I remember right, I might be misunderstanding that. Yeah, you slipped on ice. I do not like ice. That is dangerous stuff. Let's see, what do I want? I want a little teeny bit more blue. And, you know, basically what I'm doing here is just, I don't want to touch the dolls. And I think I'm going to leave that alone. And I want to leave the credit to the artist alone. And I'm leaving this text down here where it talks about yard sales alone. But I think I want to come in with just a teeny bit more. I'm going to try this chalk paint. I don't know. It's getting older. I'm just going to put my hand in there. I don't like this wide of a bottle. It doesn't have anything to pour it out. If you pour it out, you have to pour it out in a clump or reach in and ew. Ew, it stinks. I mean, phew. I'm not sure I want to use it. I'm going to go use my other yellow. I'll have to get that out later and see what's going on. It smells worse than the... Sometimes this craft paint can have a distinct chalky odor. Not musty. I call it a chalk odor. That may be a little bit too much yellow there. And I'm just... I'm just getting messy. Yeah, Vicki, we're gonna have to if the chat actually shows on my channel tonight, it'll be interesting to come in and watch the replay and maybe leave a comment when you're maybe watch an hour into it or something and see where that comment shows up after you have commented. I think I'm pretty happy with this. You know, I'm going to have to put baby wipes on my list here. I know Melissa. I got Melissa on the brain tonight. Dee Dee does use baby wipes sometimes. She uses her fingers, and she uses a paintbrush sometimes, and she uses baby wipes sometimes. But so far, all I've been doing is using my fingers to do this. And I thought it would be fun. I'm not going to do it tonight because I don't have them out. But I thought it would be fun to try some of those FW inks on one of these pages. Here, let's use this yellow now. Put it in here. Yeah. And then my quote is going to read, "Whenever I want you, all I have to do is dream, dream, dream." So, I'm going to put this aside and let it dry. Thank you, everyone, for coming in. I appreciate it. It might be a bumpy ride tonight. We've already fallen about 3 times. And if I lose connection, just hang tight. As soon as I can, I'll come back. I'm really having fun in this magazine. Art doll magazine. The dolls are not my art. They belong to the doll artist, but it's fun to do the reverse collage around them. Now the Childcraft magazine, Childcraft Encyclopedia. I got 2 things I want to do here. Maybe I'll start on this first because it needs to dry. Isn't this a darling picture? Look at that. I got this out of a Reminisce magazine. And actually they're dressed up as a bride and groom for Halloween. It was actually a Halloween picture. Those are their costumes, as a little boy and a girl as a bride and groom. But it's just so sweet. I love that picture. And I thought that what I would do, let me get it out here. I have it all ready to go. I purchased some ultra thick embossing powder. And I thought I would play with that in my art journal. And this will probably go in either my Society of Idea Collectors or my Creative Year. I'm going to put it on this side of the page. Boy, that really fills up the page. What I'm going to do is, when I did that embossing with glycerin, I used Tim Holtz embossing powder, and it's not a thick embossing powder. It was a black embossing powder. And I want to use this ultra thick embossing powder clear. And what I thought I'd do is put a bronze background on. That's why I'm doing it first, because I'm going to put a bronze background. And then I'm going to put the glycerin and the really ultra thick embossing powder sort of as a frame. Sort of frame this out. They just fit on there, but I'll do a kind of I was thinking an oval frame, but I'll do some sort of a frame around that just to have fun and see how it works with ultra thick. I've done this before, but it's been a couple years ago. But that ultra thick embossing powder really does make a nice vintage style frame. Let's go ahead and just put this on while I'm chattering away. Who's coming in? Hi, Kim Marie. Welcome. And, oh, I emptied my wastebasket today, but I didn't get clean water, so I have no idea what shape my brushes are in. I've been working on St. Patrick's Day stuff, so I've got green on my paintbrush. But I suppose a little green in that bronze won't hurt it. It's not even showing. So I just want to do my entire page here. And what did I do with that wax paper? Get out a new piece. And this is Anita's bronze, and it does go on thin. I usually put on more than one coat of it to get a nice area. It's a craft paint, but I do like it when it dries, and I'm going to use my heat gun, so if I get kicked off, hang tight, I'll be back, because I want to get this dried enough to put the second coat on. What's going on? I don't know what's going on in chat. Lucia says, has anyone seen the creepy lifelike doll that shows up on Facebook? I haven't seen that one, Lucia. Don't share it with me. I watched that RNK channel. I forget what the entire name of the channel is. I just remember RNK, and they're all about abandoned houses. And they had a visit to a house that had all sorts of dolls left in it. An abandoned house. Talk about creepy. That kind of creeps me out. Dolls don't creep me out themselves. I like dolls. But, you know, dolls that are creepy, well, you know, that's a different story. I'm just going to kind of paint off on my table here, the excess paint off of my brush before I put it in the water. There. Okay, heat gun alert. I missed you, Cindy. I don't know what you're talking about. I thought, did you miss me? Oh, it's getting cold in the south part of the United States. Our daffodils are starting to pop out of the ground. They aren't blooming, but they're starting to pop out of the ground. And my brother came in today and said that there's a crocus out there that's blooming. I'm looking for something that I can use as a... Oh. Just kind of hold this down while I'm... Yeah, so spring is right around the corner. Now, since I put this acrylic on, this acrylic is a base, and when you put glycerin on, it will not absorb into the paper. When I did that other embossed test, I did not have Mod Podge or gel medium or anything on the paper, and when I put the glycerin on, it soaks right through the watercolor paper to the back. But since I have this acrylic background, which isn't dry yet, that glycerin will not soak through, but it will also I don't want to say clump, but it will be more liquidy, more runny. So need to be careful of that. But see, this is what I'm thinking here. like this. Ooh, that's going to be cool. And I thought maybe I would, after I, because this is clear embossing powder, so it's not going to be like a platinum or a coppery. The stuff I had when I lived in Wisconsin, I think, was a coppery metallic. Now, I'm going to get another sheet of wax paper, because when you do the embossing, you know how messy that can be. And I'm going to slip that painty one out from underneath. Ah, it's stuck to my page. Okay. Now my paintbrush on there. Put that back in the water. All right. So I really want that on the bottom, not on the top. All right. Now I'm just gonna, this is kind of experimental for me because it's been a long time since I've done this. And what I'm doing is I'm using my glycerin as an embossing base, but I'm putting it on pretty thick. I'm not just painting it on with a paintbrush. So, and I just kind of want a, I kind of want it to clump and to run. I'm not going to do the dripping, but I want it to kind of clump and form sort of a frame around this picture is what I'm going for. But since glycerin is liquidy in itself, it will run some, especially when I get to using it with the heat gun. And I'm going to use my finger and just kind of dab this. This kind of, to make it, I want to say dimensional, but to make it look like it's not just been poured on there is where I'm going with this. And I tell you, it's been a while since I've done this, so anything could happen. This is one of Meri's wild experiments. Alrighty. Now I'm just gonna I'm gonna see what happens next when I pour this. Wait, did I have a lid to this? Of course I did. I'm gonna pour it into the lid first. Maybe I should try just a little of it. Maybe right in here. Because this glycerin will not, well, I'm just going to do it all. Why not just do it all? As long as I'm making a mess, let's just make a royal one. And I know I've done this before. The first time I did this in a book that I was altering. And I ran across the video of when I did it, but the book itself is in storage up in Wisconsin. I don't have the book with me. So I pretty well have coated the entire, I'm putting it on pretty thick. Now I'll shake it off, of course, but all right. Well, let's not close it up. Let's see what happens. Now, I expect some of that glycerin to run and drip. And so my embossing powder will have glycerin clumps. And I will be putting that back into my bottle. They call that contaminating your embossing powder. I don't mind personally because I know that I'm just going to use it for mixed media and stuff like that. But if you want to keep your embossing powder nice, you probably shouldn't do that. You should probably have another empty container that you keep your contaminated embossing powder in. Just as a heads up. Ooh, that's kind of pretty. I'm going to leave it just like that and see what happens. Except I've got to, put this back into the jar. Let's see what happens here. I wish that I could only find the clear, a silvery, ultra thick, or a coppery one would be very pretty. But this is all I could find in my area without doing some major shopping in a larger city that has more access to things. But I'm happy with this because I'm just experimenting. Now, can you see where, maybe if I zoom in a little, let's see if I can zoom in a little. And of course, I'll have little shards of embossing powder in here. Let's zoom in a little. And I'll turn it. No, I won't turn it because it lets... Oops! The zoom on this camera is not easy to do. It either goes way up for me. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I might have to move it up and down, but let's go ahead and emboss this and see what happens. It'll probably take a while to emboss this entire page. I didn't think about that. I only thought, oh, I want to try it. Maybe it won't take that long. But I'm going to hold it up so you can see. Maybe I'll just zoom in way in on this corner. Way in on that corner. Fire it up, Meri. Right in here. That glycerin is getting really juicy in there. Oops. And I don't know how much you can see of that. Let's get my paper towel out. Maybe I can show you. It's kind of hard to see on this painty paper. I'm reaching for my paper towels. I wish I had a coppery. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's... I'm still going to work with it. We'll see what happens with this. I can see it moving as I'm embossing it. I can see it moving in there. I can see it getting really liquidy. You can see that on the towel there. I'm just going to continue embossing this. It's really hard to see. I wonder. I'm going to try something else over on the other side because this isn't showing up enough for me to show you what I want to show you. I'm going to try just a little over here and see if you can see it a little better. Maybe even on a black piece of paper. I got myself experimenting now. I don't know if you'll be able to see it any more on the white than on the copper. Hold, embossing gets multiple steps here. I've got to put away the embossing powder, the extra here. I don't think you're going to be able to see it anymore on the white. I'm going to reach over here and get a black, if I can find it. Yes, I can. Out of this photograph album that I do my fine line fun, I'll just get a black sheet of paper because I'd like to have it show up for you so you can see what's going on. And I'll come back and emboss this later. Every time I get into a mess like this, I think of Barbeau and saying, it's like a tornado hit this room. And I just started. Let's see if that embossing powder shows up any better on this page. And I'm just gooping it on here. I'm not really... I want to see if it shows up any better here. Now I did it with, this is clear. When I did it in my book, I think I used a metallic. It was either a copper or a platinum or silver. I can't remember. But it made such a nice effect, and I'm not sure I'm going to get that with this clear. But it's always fun to experiment. If this doesn't do what I want it to do, I'll finish it up when I can sit and work with it. Alright, heat gun alert. Let's see if this works any better. Might be able to see that a little bit better. And the glycerin is just acting as a base. Now this is photograph paper, and I did not use a medium or anything over this, so that glycerin's going to soak through to the other side. Probably doing that right now, but see how wet it's getting in there? That's all glycerin. Ouch, and it's hot. It's not really doing what I want. I want it to get really ultra thick. It's kind of up, right up at the top edge of the page there. It's kind of doing what I want. But it takes some patience in working with it. This is just experimenting. And I put that glycerin on pretty thick. And you know, I'm thinking that where this is wet, even is the clear. It's clear glycerin. It's mirrory. It's like a plastic coating. I'm wanting to put some ink over this. I'm wanting to play. Let's, let me grab, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to grab some of this really light green. It could explode on me here. Isn't that interesting? Whoops. That was cool, Mary. I kind of like what's happening there. You just watching Mary make a mess today. Can glycerin be tinted? I don't know. Can it? It's an oil. It's an oil. Let's try an experiment, Rose. Let's just put a little out on the wax paper here. I got a drop there. Let's see if that, what did I do with my ink? It's right here. I would say yes, it can. Can you see that, Rose? Let's just spread it on here. I think the answer to that, can glycerin be tinted, is yes. But just keep in mind that it's oily. This is very much an oil base. And it goes a long way. That was just a little drop. Of course, now I'm putting my ink on there with my finger too. So, depending on what you use, I used an acrylic ink in it. Now that's on black. Let's try it. Let me go back and get that white page. Let's try the same thing. Now you got me going, Rose. Now you got me going here. Let's try the same thing on this white. I'm just going to put a drop of glycerin on here. Just probably a dime size of it. Because it goes pretty... It spreads. It's an oil base. It spreads pretty easy. I'm just going to put a drop of ink in there. And I'm just stirring it up with my finger. And that's very oily. I don't know if you can see. I can feel it. Let's just put it on here. Probably depending on what you wanted to do with it. Ooh, that's kind of pretty, isn't it? I'm just going to finish spreading it on there. So, let's take some of this embossing powder and just sprinkle it. Because that's glycerin, so the embossing powder should stick to it. And I'm just sprinkling it on here kind of haphazardly. But since it's clear, I'd like to have some platinum. I'm going to get me some platinum. Okay, let me set this up on the side. I'm going to tear my... after the fact here. And I want to put this back in here. So you could probably, if you wanted, I was thinking about using this on, I'm not going to use it on the inchies for Aunt Beck's, but I did some ATCs for Swap a few years ago. And I had some oval pictures that I got out of a book, like of colonial ladies. And I cut the oval out, put it on the ATC. And I used like my metallic ultra embossed powder around that. And it just turned out looking like a picture frame. I think this clear embosses clear. And so it's going to look more like a thin layer of plastic. I'm thinking more like glossy accent wood. I suppose that there are uses for clear embossing powder, mixed media, but I'm wanting something more metallic-y. Which makes me wonder, I haven't embossed all of this yet. Maybe I can spread some metallic-y ink on here. Now you got me going, Rose. And I can see it's kind of, I'm having my heat gun pretty close to the embossing powder. You're supposed to hold your heat gun like 6 inches away. I like the texture. I like the bubbling. The more it bubbles, the happier I am. And that's what's happening in here. I'm not sure you can see it, but it's getting kind of rough and bubbly in there. And that makes me happy. I do like that a lot. But Rose, I do think that you can tint that glycerin if you would want to for whatever application that you want to use it. Can you see how my glycerin is on here? See how it's puddling? Because this page is curling up, and my glycerin from underneath is kind of just swooshing down into the middle of the page. So it does that. That's all I can say. And I don't mind. I don't mind because I like, the more that it does on its own, the happier I am. It's like it has its own mind. But I want to try putting some ink around here now that Rose got me started on that. And let's see if I can bring out the color of that clear glycerin, because right now it's just fading right into the background. The clear is just a clear coat of, kind of like a plastic coat over my, let's see, what do I have here? How about I want a brown color. Let's see, I have this raw sienna. Let's see what happens with this. Oh, that's going to be too, that's too close to the bronze. Well, let's try the blue. Let's try a blue. That's not bronzy. Let's see what happens. This is Meri experimenting. And I'm just putting it on with the dauber, and letting it run. And it's going to run because my page is curling here on the edges. I'm not doing anything to hold it down. Let's get some more up here at the top. Ooh, I kind of like that. Oh, let's see. What else do I have in here? I want to see what happens with the embossing powder on this ink. Here we go. Hold the phone. Meri's going to really make a mess. This ink can stain your hands too. Have to get out the lava soap. Oh. Yeah. Let's just make a mess today. Yeah. I like this area in here. That's getting to be what I want it to be. This isn't, because my page is curling, the ink isn't, oh! It splattered on me. It splattered all over me. Just watch while I make a mess, okay? Now they'll probably be jumping out of this oval, but I kind of wanted a big oval. And I want some more darker color in here. Most of my ink is on the other side of my, this is a pearlescent gray color. That's not going to be what I want, but I'm going to put it on there anyway. See, it's running down. That's not what I want. I'm just experimenting. I'm going to go ahead and use the heat gun on. I'm not watching chat. You guys are probably wondering, what is Meri doing? I love this area in here. Boy, but am I a mess. Let's see if I can kind of flatten this out a little. I love what's going on in here. You guys can't see it too well. Right in here, I love that area. It's very juicy. I can see the glycerin is very oily in there, but I love what it's doing in there. I don't like this. Let me get out another paper towel. What did I do with my paper towels? I had them in my hand just a minute ago. Get these off here. But this all in here this is dry. It's very much a, this right here is very clear embossed. I'm not sure how much you can see of it. There. That's very embossed with clear right in there. And because I rubbed that ink on it, it's kind of messy. But I can probably just wipe it off. Just ignore me while I'm making my mess, okay? Because I'm not watching chat. Ooh, I'm kind of liking what's happening here. That ink is not where it's embossed. Because it's already been embossed, the ink is wiping right off of it. And it's also wiping off of my acrylic background there. So, that didn't really, it looked good until I started wiping it away. I'm afraid to do too much more with that. Let's just do it anyway. I can wipe it right off. So how's that for an experiment? If you don't like it, clean it up. It really wasn't what I expected. I wanted that to stay, but it wiped away. It would have wiped away anyway. This is embossed. Probably didn't emboss it enough. That glycerin was on it. All right. Watch while Meri makes a mess. But this has been embossed. This is very much a clear emboss right in there. That wasn't what I wanted to happen. I'll use this as a base for something. I'm going to quit on it because it's... And I'll bet you... No, it hasn't soaked through yet. soaked through some in there. It's on this side. It's right in there. Meri's kind of talking to herself on that. Well, that really wasn't what I wanted to happen. So, we'll just, I'm not going to put that picture down because that's too cute of a picture to mess up. I'm going to put this aside. I like what's going on over here, though. Let's see what's happening on this sheet. Now, that's very wet and oily. This is that tinted glycerin with the ink. And this, I don't think I've finished embossing this. I wonder if this will... I wouldn't think this would wipe away because I'm not sure if it wiped away because that was acrylic or if I just did not have it embossed enough. I get impatient. Now, can you see the glycerin under there? See, I don't know if you can see it bubbling up. The kind of glycerin will kind of bubble up underneath of it. It'll kind of puddle. I don't know what I did with my... I'm into what I'm doing, guys. I'm not watching chat. Some of the glycerin is coming off, but I think the emboss is staying. I don't want to wipe on it too much. I'll let it dry a little. This is how Meri tests things. I would never do this to a nice piece that... You know, this is all experimenting to see what the product will do. Just kind of, Rose said, hey, wait, can you tint glycerin? Well, who knew? Now, this was on black paper, but that is tinted glycerin there. And that yellow is tinted glycerin, I think. All right. I bored you enough with that. I'll have to play with it more, maybe when I can sit down and figure out what I'm doing. I'm going to close this ink before I knock it all off. I'm going to save my cute picture for another time. We aren't going to spoil them. They're too cute to get all messy. I'll put my inks over here on the edge. That was a fun experiment. I'm going to experiment more with it. Now, the thing of it is, I use glycerin with the ultra thick. It's very oily, it's very runny, it's almost gooey. You can use regular embossing powder or a regular embossing glue, you know, those pads. Use that too, and you won't get all this mess that I'm getting. I just like the mess. I like to experiment with stuff. All right, let's fold this all up and throw it away. You just came to watch me make a mess. I'm going to pick my paper up here, put it over across the room where it won't fall. How fun was that? This is a big piece of watercolor paper that I've been using as a drop paper. I'm going to empty this stuff in my wastebasket off to the side here. There. Okie dokie. Let's move on. Let's move on. I knocked my embossing powder off, but I think the lid was on it, so I think I'm okay. All right. I'll do that after chat. My hands are a mess, though. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm all in for different things tonight. I don't know if I'm up for this after doing that. I am on day 7. I got to get caught up with Miss Vicky. I'm going to do this flower in the same way that I did that butterfly. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this. I'm just going to play with it, see what happens. And that's all this book is. Here again with my doodling. So many of my doodles are, when I try the doodle challenges, I end up sketching. So the reason I'm using the X-Acto knife is, how can you sketch with an X-Acto knife? I mean, you know, I've been drawing for so long that I naturally, when I get a pencil in my hand, I want to draw. So by using an X-Acto knife, it gets me thinking more about the shapes and less about everything else, you know. And I also, the reason I went to the magazine images is, this looks like a tabletop doily. This looks like grass and flowers, and these are just geometric shapes. I'm thinking this by following a magazine image that I can get away from things looking like doilies. So I'm just playing. I'm just doodling with the X-Acto knife. So, and I've been using this big extreme glue here to glue this in. And put it this way. And go look at Messy Table Studio. Oh, her video that she put up of the doodles. She's putting her doodles in a squash book. I drooled over the entire video going, that is so Vicky. And, yeah. Then she shows all her other doodles. Vicky, you have been an artist for years. All right. Did I get my X-Acto knife, actually get it out? Here. Now I have to tell you, as soon as I get my phone plugged back in so that I still get in charge on this little phone, somebody, I haven't quite figured out who, sent me some Happy Mail from Amazon. I found this big envelope in my mailbox. I'm going, I didn't order anything, but it feels like it's empty. What's in here? I opened it up. You're going to laugh. You know what's in this envelope? This. Swivel blades. 3 of them. So, I haven't quite figured out who did this yet. But if that person happens to be watching, thank you very much. I'm not going to use them tonight, But I'll be using them. Thank you very much. That's, when you guys do this, it blows my mind that you guys would do this. So I guess really the proper thing is to just say thank you, and I really appreciate your thinking of me. I know Cindy keeps telling Meri, just say thank you. I'm going, yeah, but I don't deserve it. You know, that whole story. So let me zoom in just a little bit more. Whoops, that was zoomed in. There. All right. Yeah. I'm going to try to do something really simple here. I might have to go back and reattach some of these after I do this, but we'll see what happens. As long as I'm playing. Now I have to be careful not to cut out more than what I want, but I'm going to cut out the leaves. And it's really not hard. It probably looks harder than it is. You just have to be careful not to cut yourself. And I'm pretty careful. Let's see. I'm careful, she said. And I'm not watching chat. So if you're saying something to me, I'm not hearing it. Sorry about that. But I can't read chat and doodle with the X-Acto knife at the same time. And I can't get my nose up to this, so I can't, when I'm doing it, when I'm by myself, I can get my nose up to it and I can see what I'm doing. Yeah, that's kind of what I want. Let's just see if I can pull it out here. Sort of what I want. Sort of. Kind of. What's going on in there? You can see it better on the back. When I flip the back, you can see the shapes I'm cutting out. It's kind of hard with this gray cutting mat to see what's going on until I ink it up. After you ink it up, then I kind of block out the areas over here. Let's see. I'm not going to get too intricate with these flowers. I think I'll just do the leaves. Because this is a live session, maybe I might do more if I were just sitting here doing it. I'll pretend that I'm in somebody's lecture class and I snuck an X-Acto knife into a history class or something, and I'm sitting in the back row doodling while he's lecturing. But I like history, so I'd probably be listening to the lecture. I was listening. Sorry. I'm back. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It always chooses to fall when I'm really concentrating on my page. I was just chatting away, most probably to myself. Here, what's going on? Am I still... I'm back, I'm back. Can you guys hear me? I'm back, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Somebody say something. Say I can hear you. Are you hearing me? Somebody say I hear you.